Chapter 15. Anna! Hi, Corey. I waited for you. How was practice? He sighed and tossed his book bag wearily over his shoulder. Don't ask. I didn't make it to practice. Oh. She hurried to keep up with him as he headed down the walk and toward the street. It was 5 o'clock, and the sky was already dark. A wet wind blew in their faces, gusting around them, making it hard to walk. But Corey needed fresh air. He needed to move, to use his muscles, to let out some energy. I had to help Lisa clean her locker, he said. He spun around and looked into Anna's eyes. He wanted to see if she had any idea what he was talking about. What is she? An obsessively neat person? Anna asked, laughing a light musical laugh. Whoever heard of cleaning out your locker when school has just started? She didn't seem to know about the cat, or else she was a really good actress. As they cleaned up the mess, Lisa had insisted that Anna had to be the prime suspect. She heard that we're going to the dance together. She's jealous, Lisa had said, washing the paper towels in her hand soak up the cat's dead red blood. Get real. I've never gone out with her, Corey had insisted. I saw the way she looked at you, Lisa said. The way she stood next to you. Very possessive. She did this. I know it. That's just stupid. Lisa's accusations were making Corey really angry. Go get more paper towels, Lisa said. Ugh, I think I'm gonna be sick. It's a good thing I hate cats. Now, an hour and a half later, Corey was walking in the wind, explaining to Anna what had happened. It was a dead cat. Someone had slit open his stomach, he told her. He studied Anna's reaction. Her mouth formed a small O of horror. No! Someone tied a note around the cat's neck, Corey continued. It said, You're dead too. How horrible! Anna cried, raising her hand to her mouth. Poor Lisa. Who would do such a disgusting thing? She seemed genuinely distressed. Corey felt guilty for suspecting her. He knew she hadn't done it. Want to go get a Coke or something? He asked. No. She shook her head, her light hair tossing wildly in the strong wind. Let's just walk. I can't believe that about Lisa. That's so horrible. Let's change the subject, he said, trying to brighten up. I heard you were the best gymnast at Shadyside last year, she said, obediently changing the subject. That was last year, he said quietly. That was before you arrived, he thought. All athletes have slumps, don't they? She asked softly, taking his arm, using him as a shield against the wind. Let's change the subject again, he said. Maybe we could talk about the turnaround dance, she said softly, putting her mouth right up to his ear. It sent a chill down his back. What about it? He asked. Wouldn't you ever go with me? Her voice got tiny and sweet, like a little child begging for candy. Well, yeah, I guess. Great! But I couldn't do that to Lisa. We've been friends too long and... Oh. She frowned disappointment, then almost immediately her face brightened again. Oh well, some other time I guess. They turned down Park Drive, walking slowly, Anna holding on lightly to his arm, so lightly he could barely feel her touch through his down jacket. It felt great to be walking with her. She was so beautiful, walking down the tree-lined street, the tall streetlights just coming on to brighten the gray evening. She seemed prettier, calmer, and happier than he had ever seen her. He felt bad about interrupting this peaceful moment, but he realized he had no choice. There were too many questions he had to ask her, too many things he was eager to know. I was at your house again, he started. He could feel her tighten her grip on his arm, as if she expected what was about to come next, as if she expected it and dreaded it. Your brother, Brad, he answered the door again. Brad? She mouthed the word without making a sound. Corey stopped walking and turned to face her. He seemed very upset, Anna. He grabbed me and pulled me into the house and started to rough me up. He kept saying you were dead. Her mouth dropped open in shock. She uttered a cry, a squeal of pain and surprise, like a small dog that's been stepped on. No! She slipped off his arm and started to run down the sidewalk, her white moccasins not making a sound. He wasn't going to let her get away this time. Flinging his foot back to the ground, he ran after her. He caught her easily, grabbed her arms, and spun her around. She refused to look at him. Go away, she cried, shoving him back. Go away, Corey. You don't want to get involved. I'm already involved, he told her, refusing to let her go. I can't stop thinking about you. Those words caused her to stop struggling. She stared at him questioningly, as if she didn't believe it, as if she couldn't have heard him correctly. I'm sorry, she said, her voice a whisper. As darkness settled, the air grew even colder, and the wind picked up. He let go of her arms. She turned and started walking back in the direction of the high school. He followed, walking a few steps behind her. I have to know the truth, he said. Why did your brother say that about you? I don't know, she answered without looking back. I told you, he was crazy. Someone called me before you did last Friday night and told me to not see you because you were dead. And if I did see you, I'd be dead too. Was that your brother? I don't know, she said. I really don't know. You've got to believe me. She started walking faster. He had to hurry to keep up. But why would your brother say a thing like that? Corey demanded. Why would he tell people you were dead? She spun around, and he almost ran into her. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. He's crazy. I told you. He's crazy, and he's very dangerous, she shouted, tears forming in her eyes. I really can't talk about it. Don't you understand? Who else lives with you? Corey asked, deliberately lowering his voice. He didn't want to make her cry, didn't want her to get hysterical. The poor girl obviously had trouble with a brother who was making her life difficult for her. Just my mother, Anna answered, wiping her eyes with the backs of her hand. But she isn't very well. It's just the three of us. They walked on a little in silence, side by side. Don't listen to Brad, she said finally. I'm here. I'm here with you. Don't listen to him. Just stay away from him. He mustn't know about us. Sorry for all the questions, he said softly, putting his arm around her shoulder. I didn't mean to upset you. It's just that I didn't know what to think. And you called me Saturday night and then... What? No, Corey, you meant Friday night. You called me Saturday night too, and I came as fast as I could, and... She turned and stopped him by putting both hands on his chest. She looked very upset. Someone played a horrible joke on you, she said, her blue eyes burning into his. I never called you Saturday night. Then who? Shh. It's okay, she said, putting her finger to his lips. Let's not talk anymore. She tilted her head up. He leaned down and started to kiss her. No! She cried suddenly, startling him. She pulled away. She wasn't looking at him. She was looking past him, to the tall hedges that bordered the sidewalk. I've got to go. Don't follow. He's watching me. She turned and ran up the street toward the high school. Corey stood helplessly watching her flee for a few seconds. Then he moved quickly to investigate the hedges. He ran around to the other side. About 100 yards away, someone in a dark fur parka was running at full speed in the other direction along the hedge. Was it Brad? Could be. Anna was telling the truth. Now her crazy brother was spying on them. Well, I heard the big news. What? Corey looked up from the new issue of Sports Illustrated. I heard the big news, his mother repeated. She seemed annoyed that Corey didn't know what she was talking about. I was just talking to Lisa's mother. Yeah. Corey flipped through it until he found the gymnastics site article he was looking for. And what's the big news? About you and Lisa, Mrs. Brooks said impatiently. Huh? She walked over and stood in front of the couch, forcing him to look up from the magazine. Am I speaking to Corey Brooks of Planet Earth? She asked. He rolled his eyes. Give me a break. Well, are you or are you not going to go on a date with Lisa? Oh! His son remembered to turn around and dance. Yeah, I guess. What was the big deal? Why was his mom smiling like that? Why she seemed so pleased? I always knew it would happen, she said, crossing her arms as if hugging herself and going up on tiptoes, then quickly back down, repeating it several times. It was her own peculiar exercise. She always did instead of standing still. What? I always knew the time would come when you and Lisa wouldn't be best friends anymore. Mom, what planet are you from? Corey asked disgustedly. Well, I just think it's nice that you and Lisa... I've got more important things to think about, he said. Like what? Like Anna, he thought, but he didn't say anything. He just shrugged. Like your homework? She asked. Oh, right, I forgot. He climbed off the couch and started quickly up to his room. Thanks for reminding me, he called down. Thanks a bunch. Anytime, he heard her say from the kitchen. Hey, your father and I are going out, so we got peace and quiet for studying. He sat down at his desk and had tried to concentrate on ancient China, but his mind kept wandering. Anna's face kept drifting into his thoughts, taking him away from the fourth Ming dynasty. Again and again he saw the look of terror on her face when she realized that Brad was watching them. Why was she so afraid of Brad? What hold did he have over her? What was he doing to her? He realized he hadn't gotten satisfactory answers from her. In fact, he hadn't gotten any answers. Anna really seemed too frightened to talk about it. He decided if he underlined the text, it might help him concentrate. He opened his desk drawer and began to search for a yellow highlighter. The phone rang. He stared at it, a heavy feeling forming in the pit of his stomach. He used to look forward to the phone ringing. Now the sound filled him with dread. It rang a second time, a third time. He was alone in the house. He could just let it ring forever. He stared at it, his hand only inches away from the receiver. Should he answer it or not?